Cafe family, and welcome back to another Design Cafe video. In today's video we are going to be discussing the difference between transitional design and traditional design. And the reason I'm doing this is because of some of the questions that I got when I did the collaboration with Watch Chrissy work. I think people tend to get confused as to what modern design is, what contemporary design is, what traditional design is. And they also forget that there is something called transitional design, which is to marry the two together when you're doing, when something seems to be going more traditional, when you're thinking it's going traditional, or you want to have some more character to a piece or to the design, then you can go the transitional way versus the traditional way. So in today's video we're going to be going through that, and I'm going to be explaining what it is. Now if you want to know the difference between contemporary design and modern design, I will link the video up here and I will link it down below so that you can click on that video and you can go and get educated and get some more knowledge on what those are as well and how to identify them. Now let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so let's first talk about traditional design. So what is the definition for traditional design? Traditional interior design is rooted in 18th and the 19th century European styles, especially from England and France. It emphasizes elegance, symmetry, that's a key, okay? And a sense of order, often incorporating classic furnishes, rich colors, and detailed millwork. That's one of the ways that you can identify traditional design. The key characteristics of traditional design is ornate furnishes with curved lines and carved wood, rich deep color palettes like burgundy, gold, forest green, navy, okay? Heavy draperies and layered window treatments. Symmetry in furniture arrangement. So the way you arrange your furniture, the symmetry in which you do that, okay? Let me stop here and kind of explain symmetry versus asymmetry, okay? So symmetry is when you repeat something, right? Something and it's like exact. So let's say you have a sofa, and then on the sofa you want to flank it with two sets of chairs facing inward. You would do, if you do it on this side and you do it on this side, you have created symmetry. If you only do it on one side, you haven't created symmetry. Okay, there's a little off balance with it. And off balance is good sometimes in design, because especially when it's intentional, because when you have something that's asymmetrical, it creates a little bit more interest. Okay, why am I saying that? If you guys remember from the collaboration we had where we added the pictures on the wall, we did not want to create symmetry. So there was one question that asked why the sconces did not line up with the middle of the artwork. Because we have to think on functionality before design, okay? So that is the reason why that wasn't done. Also, we were not going for complete symmetry in that sense. And there's no rule that says you have to put the sconces in the center. If you're someone that likes to see symmetry, then that will bother you. If you like to see stuff looking asymmetrical, then it would not bother you. Okay, so there's no rule that says those two sconces had to fit or had to line up with the middle of the artwork. That's just something what we call preference. Now let's continue. Classic art and antique pieces, decorative moldings and wainscoting, okay? Those are some of the characteristics of traditional design. The mood is very formal, very timeless, elegant, and refined. Now let's kind of talk let's now move into transitional interior design. So the definition for transitional interior design blends traditional and contemporary styles to create a balanced, harmonious look. It offers the warmth of traditional design with the clean lines and minimalism of modern aesthetics. Okay, so what are the key characteristics of transitional design? Neutral color palettes like taupes and grays and greens and beiges, okay? Then it simplifies classic furniture with straight or gently curved lines, okay? A mixture of textures, wood, glass, steel, fabrics. Also is less ornate. So you're gonna have some kind of ornate going on, but it's way less. With traditional, you're gonna have more. With transitional, you're gonna have less in terms of the wood that we actually selected, the molding that we selected to put on the wall. That was less, okay? So it's not traditional, it was transitional. Minimal accessories and uncluttered spaces. Soft, comfortable, yet sophisticated ambience, okay? What mood does a transitional design give you? It's very relaxed, elegance with a balanced, approachable feel. So that is the feel that you would get from a transitional design, okay? So in short, traditional design is old world charm plus rich details. And then transitional design is I would say the best of both worlds, where it comes to classic comfort and modern simplicity. Let's show some examples to what I was just talking about, and let's go over that, okay? Imagine, let's go down this memory lane. So imagine you had a formal living room with a grand roll-arm sofa upholstered in rich velvet or brocade. Dark wood furniture like mahogany, cherry, with carved legs and ornate details. A Parisian rug in deep reds and navy. Crystal chandeliers and heavy gold frame mirrors. Crowned moldings and paneled walls. Do you guys see how this is so traditional? This is very, very traditional. When you have all your elements coming together to create the space, your space will be dominated as being very traditional. Now, let's go down the memory lane and picture a living room that is more transitional. A neutral tone sofa like beige or gray with clean structured lines. A mix of wood and metal furniture like a walnut coffee table with a black iron base. A simple area rug in a soft pattern or soft colors. A light fixture in brushed nickel or matte black. Minimal decorative accessories, but still cozy and inviting. Do you guys see the difference? Now let's talk about how we can mix the two together to create a transitional look. So here's a few ways that we can blend traditional and contemporary elements to get that transitional style. So we're gonna take a traditional windback chair and we're gonna put it in neutral linen fabric, which is the contemporary. The result of that is going to give us a classic silhouette modern feel, okay? Next, we're gonna add dark wood dining table, right? With sleek upholstered chairs in soft tones. That's the contemporary. What the result you're gonna get from that is blends of white, blends of warmth and simplicity. Next, let's add an ornate mirror, because I know those gold ornate mirrors are very popular. A lot of people is using them. I don't want you to think because you have one of those in your home, then your entire space is now traditional. Okay? So we have the ornate mirror, but we're gonna add a clean line console table to the space. So you have that traditional mirror, and we're gonna come in with something contemporary. Okay, so that gives a balance of detail and minimalism. Next, we're gonna add a Peruvian style rug, but we're gonna do it in soft modern color palettes, right? And what that is gonna give us is a vintage feel without heaviness. Last one, let's do some molding on the walls, right? Some molded wall panels, right? And then we're gonna paint it a light wall paint, like a white or grayish type color, right? So what that is going to do is going to be traditional details but updated palette. So here's the quick tip for mixing. When you're mixing, you want to use a 80 to 20% ratio rule, okay, when you're mixing design styles together. So you don't want to do, if you know you want to go towards a traditional look, then you do 80% traditional, and then you can bring in 20% of, say, contemporary or whatever other design you're trying to bring into it, okay? Or if you want to go more contemporary or more transitional, you want to use 80% of that, and then you can use about 20% of traditional. That is the design rule, okay? So 80% contemporary, which will be your natural colors and your simple furniture. And then for the 20%, and then for the traditional, you want to bring in 20% of that, which would be like your rich textures, classic details like moldings or heirloom pieces. What this does is it keeps your space fresh, clean, and timeless with just enough character to feel personal and elevated. So guys, that is my short way. That's the only way that I could think on doing it, so that you guys have thought this process through and how can I do this so that they can better understand it. So I hope these illustrations that I showed you really help to let you be able to speak more knowledgeably when you're speaking about design and when you're thinking about something. Now, some of the comments, I would say, like, you didn't think it through. Some people just said stuff because either they wanted to hate or they don't understand design. They're very ignorant when it comes to design. Some people don't understand that you can mix metals. Some people don't understand that you can mix design styles and how to mix design styles. Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand and don't get that it's not your home, it's the other person's home, and once they love it, that's all that matters. And what I've always tried to get you guys to understand and let it sit in your head is that everyone have their preferences. Someone's preferences may be less, others' preferences may be more. Someone's preferences is, I love to see things asymmetrical. That's me. I love asymmetrical because to me, it makes your design feel a little bit more intentional. It makes it feel, gives it a lot more character. When stuff are asymmetrical, is like, because I did it on this side, I can't think on what to do on this side, so let's just repeat it. That's how I see it, right? So yeah, that's how some people is. I always tell people there's no error in design unless you didn't know what the heck you were doing. But if it was intentional when you did it, it's not an error. That's what you wanted, right? So I just wanted to do a video on that and explain that in more details to you guys. And you guys know over here on Design Cafe that I love to educate on this channel and give you guys free design knowledge. However, if you get this knowledge and you still feel like you cannot do this yourself, then hey, contact me down in the description and I can hold your hand through your process. I do offer that service. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments, or if you have any topic in interior design that you would love me to discuss here on this channel, leave it down in a comment and I will be sure to do a video on that for you. Guys, I will see you guys on my next upload. Always remember, never let your budget dictate your style, but create a space that you love. Design for life.